time, we will come with a view to giving you updates on developments in the course of this sports festival. And we're even much more interested in what you may have gathered in the course of time, so that you will inform us, and then we're also able to take it up at the appropriate quarters in line with our desire to address challenges that may have emerged in the course of time. And I must appreciate all of you, because some of the issues you raised have assisted us. So the success of this particular sports festival and the story behind it cannot in any way be written without a very good and prominent paragraph, or possibly pages, reserved for those of you who are here. Because some of the issues you have pointed out and we're able to address them, and help us to know what is happening in a number of places, since you have a number of game centers where different events are taking place. Let me also appreciate all of you for the developmental approach you have brought to the practice of journalism by writing in line with how to ensure that we have not just a reasonable sports festival, but that we are able to improve the business of sports in Nigeria. And I want to say thank you very much for that support. Yesterday, before I go into the issue of the medal table, I'm sure some of you heard that it was an unfortunate incident where we lost one of the athletes who, before then, was participating in this festival. And he's from the Imo State contingent. His name is Chukwuemeka Ebanugo. My records is 25 years old, and he's one of the boxers representing Imo State in the 81 kg category. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And we want also seize this opportunity to commiserate with the government, the people, the contingent from Imo State, even as we extend same commiseration to the body of athletics in Nigeria. It is not a question of him just coming from Imo. We of course also commiserate with the Boxing Federation, which is his immediate federation, and then ask the good Lord to accept his soul. Well, what happens to that individuals do not begin to tell stories different from what actually happened? You do know, and I'm happy you have seen the medical center even here in this arena. You have also seen a number of ambulances. The same thing in all our game centers. We have its replications. Now, at the event center where Boston was taking place, where this particular development occurred, we have ringside medics, as medical personnel by the side of the ring, that usually, because you know the nature of that game, that usually will look at you and check whether you are fit to continue the fight. And of course, all of us somehow are used to the game of boxing. A day before the fought, he had come and was examined, usually by the medical team. And somehow, his BP wasn't normal. And so, he was asked to leave. Thereafter, he returned. After a while, the BP had returned to normal. But he was asked that before he proceeds for the game that he should return again for another check, which unfortunately he didn't do. And by the time the game started, after some time, it was discovered that he had a little bleeding from the nose. The medics wanted to stop it, but of course, he himself wanted to stop the fight. And you know, at that time, if you stop it, it means his opponent has won. He was desirous of victory. His coach and his team were also desirous of victory, not knowing that some other development may have occurred internally. At this moment, we need the approval of not only the federation as the boxing federation, we will also need that of the Imo State contingent, of course, led by their officials, as well as his immediate family, for you to proceed to conduct autopsy. Because you can't just go and begin to open up somebody without the approval of his immediate family. But it is suspected, I use the word suspected, that possibly what they call intracranial bleeding may have occurred, which means by the time the boxing came, it's possible it led to some form of bleeding internally on the head. If it were to be stroke, we call it hemorrhagic stroke, in which case there would have been blood flowing into the brain, and it doesn't take long for the person to pass on. So when he fell, and they rushed him out knowing that the ringside medics would not be able, that his behavior was more than what could be handled immediately. He was immediately rushed to the clinic that was also within that environment. If you also go back there, you will also see that center, just like what we have here. As they were rushing him into that clinic, the ambulance was already prepared, and there immediately they rushed him, knowing he was already struggling, more like fighting back. And they saw that the thing was more than what you can just treat in a clinic. And the arrangement we have made is that we have referral centers. Immediately he was rushed to our specialist hospital. And it was at that point he was confirmed dead. Like I said, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And that was it. And we have done what we needed to do as organizers of this event. But you know, at times like this, you can't actually question God. I needed to tell you how it went down, so that the individual don't begin to tell other stories as to whether they give him one blue and seven apples or whatever. The fact is that a human being, he has passed. We must be able to also respect even the dead. More so when he just wanted to be patriotic both to his state, to his federation, and indeed our country. And so he died again. Now to the gate itself, we are still keeping track with our desire to host, win, and win very comfortably. As at this afternoon, a peek into the medal table clearly reveals that Delta has gotten as much as 146 gold. And then the total medal haul for Delta is 275. And so when you look at the next in terms of gold, which of course is Bayelsa, is 40 gold. And so you can see that if it is possible for you to take first, second, and third, the Delta would have been said to have taken first, second, and third. Because if you begin to minus 40 from 46, you have minus from 146, you have done minusing up to about 3 times before you even get to 40. So ordinarily, Delta is almost like taking first, taking second, and taking third. So, but we appreciate our brothers from Bayelsa and our brothers from Edo. What that tells you is that if you want to talk about sports in Nigeria, you will first of all think of South South. So we are not only rich in oil, were also rich in sports. And that's why I think most of you, particularly those of you who are not from this zone, will have cause to return.